God dag alle sammen. Velkommen til Hurtigruten eller Norge. Just kidding. We will do this webinar in English. We are welcoming you to Norway to explore Norway, connect with your inner Aurora chaser, and chase the Northern Lights with Matt Dawson. We have an exciting opportunity here to go hunt those Northern Lights on a culinary pursuit unlike any other with the experts of Norway. My name is Lynn Wilson. I am a regional sales manager for Hurtigruten, and Matt Dawson is my bestie. We see each other at events
We
and
are.
we work together all the time. Matt, welcome.
Hello, thank you. I'm very
Oh,
excited for this.
yeah. So we're going to talk about wellness. You don't know it yet, but you need Norway. We're going to talk about Northern
You do.
Lights. We're going to hint on active exploration, and we are talking about a culinary experience. So this opportunity that we have, let me go off camera real quick because I think my noggin might be hiding the map a little bit here. But
Mm,
we are talking about an opportunity to explore the vast majority of the Norwegian coastline with our premium Hurtigruten North Cape line. So this voyage will take you all the way from Oslo up to Honningsvåg, long ports, inclusive of fare, onboard activities. But before we get to that, we have to talk about why Norway. So let me just flip to the next slide. I'll come back on camera. We are also here to teach you a thing or two.
mhm.
So know your Norway. We are a small but mighty country, small population of 5.5 million. I personally grew up in Norway as well. We are larger than the UK, but the facts I want you to retain here. 2/3 of our country is mountainous. We have 1,700 fjords. That is the largest concentration of fjords in the world, and we have 50,000 islands. I know if you are tuning in and you have been on a cruise and you have a Norwegian captain, you feel safe. That is because we have the most challenging coastline in the world. We are the longest running cruise line along the coast of Norway. So, before again, I'm going to keep doing these teasers. I want to talk about the Hurtigruten difference because we are unlike any other cruise line you have ever sailed with, and we like to be that way. This is Norway by Norwegians. You are fully immersing yourself into the destination of Norway. So, a few things I'm going to discuss quickly. Over 130 years of reliability. We've been operating since 1893. This is a wellness cruise, whether you're aware of it or not. The Norwegian way is no stress. We don't have stress in Norway. The ships are designed for Norway. We're going to entertain your minds with robust lecture programs, and you're going to taste the coast of Norway. So let's dive into the 130 years of reliability. What do I mean by that? Let's go back to the facts that I asked you to retain. 1,700 fjords. That means we all have waterfront property, beautiful views, but then we need to go to the post office, and the post office is across the fjord. So we could not get anywhere. So once again, let me go off camera because I think my head is covering that map. So there was no connection between the southern region of Norway and the northern region of Norway. So way back in the 1890s, it could take weeks, if not months, for mail and packages to reach the north. 1891, and this is important because we have such a rich history and legacy, but the government floated out a contract to all seafarers asking, can anyone navigate the coastline at night, carry the mail,
Mhm.
carry the cargo, and connect the coast of Norway? Let's think back. 50,000 islands, very few lighthouses back then, very treacherous journey for most, but not for our founder, Captain Richard Witt. On July 2nd, he commandeered the DS Vesterålen, that ship you see here, and he sailed from Trondheim up to Hammerfest. What used to take weeks or months, he quite literally achieved over a matter of 3 days. So in 3 days, he was there. Hurtigruten was born. Here's your first lesson on Norwegians. We are incredibly literal people. Hurtigruten quite literally means the fast route. Hurti means fast. Ruten means route. So if you're thinking that they came up to Hammerfest and they said, Peter, that was a very fast route, that's probably exactly how we came to be. But when you look into this journey, I really think it's important to understand that you're sailing through 132 years of history. We are the most celebrated cruise line in Norway. Export was born on our ships. Freedom of movement came about with our ships. Prosperity of the country came about with our ships. These were working ships. But over the years, we do have the most stunning coastline in the world. All of a sudden, we're being adopted by leisure travelers. So now we've morphed into a proper cruise line, but we still celebrate our rich history and past. What you're watching right there is the norm, not the exception. Frequently, Norwegians come to port, they chase our ships, they wave the Norwegian flags because they understand the historical significance of our operations, that we are a lifeline to the Norwegian coast. Now, the cruise we're here to talk about today is not one of those working ships that came about in 1893. This is 100% a leisure cruise, but we have maintained our rich history and legacy. So, as you discuss your next adventure with Matt here, it's very important to recognize the historical legacy and significance of the Hurtigruten cruise. So, with that said, the Norwegian wellness. I'm going to just stop right here. If you want the casinos, you want the water slides, you are not booking Hurtigruten. The ship is not your destination. The destination is your destination. Now, my footage is mostly from summer. Just flip that out and put in the Northern Lights. But this is your home away from home. This is your floating hotel. There is a want for slow travel. You are not unpacking and packing and going from start to finish. We will slowly get you along the Norwegian coast in the most scenic way possible. So, as you are reviewing the staterooms, that's your bedroom. Where you see those people waving, that's your living room. That outdoor exploration deck, you're going to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off, chasing the northern lights in the middle of the night. We all look a hot mess in the middle of the night, so don't worry about that. Now, smaller ships, all of our ships max out at 500 guests. The larger ships are way offshore. They cannot give you that front row seat to the beautiful coastline that we can. So we thread that Norwegian coast like a needle. You are so close to shore. This is the norm, not the exception. And again, we're going to take out the midnight sun. We're going to put in the northern lights and the winter backdrop. You have the winter wonderland for February. But just to give you a taste of what the operations are, it is a smaller, more intimate affair. It's a quiet affair, super relaxed, no dress code on board, just nothing but full destination immersion, Norway by Norwegians. Now, how we like to entertain you is through deep knowledge and expertise. So maybe you've ever been interested in an expedition. We are one step before an expedition in the sense that we don't have dress codes. We don't have the formal nights. We like to entertain you with knowledge. So all of our ships have expedition teams on board, and this itinerary that we're talking about will have a six-person expedition team on board. You'll have nature guides, culture guides. You'll have a photographer. So just think of it that we're going to be covering topics pertaining to Norway. If you pass areas of historical and cultural significance, we're going to invite you out on deck. And also, we don't just want to see the Norwegian coast. We've established we're already going to teach you about Norway, but we're also going to taste the coast of Norway. So we'll have frequent food tastings with our executive chef out on deck. So let's pause right here. We do not have a dress code, but nobody is wearing tight clothing on a Hurtigruten cruise because we don't need negativity in our lives. So we're going to grab some clothes that have a little bit of give. So if you can imagine a cozy cottage cabin getaway, um, wear what you would wear there. It's super relaxed. It's almost as if a Norwegian has welcomed you into their homes with a home cooked Norwegian meal. So you're going to taste the coast of Norway. 80% of our food is sourced locally from 70 suppliers. So we're not going here to have burgers, fries, nuggets every day. We are fully immersing ourselves into the destination and we are going to have the local cuisine. Fun fact, we like meat, we like potatoes, we like seafood, but there's plenty of vegan options there. So just rest assured that we'll have something for everyone. But it is going to be the true taste of Norway. We have world winning cheeses on board. We will collect king crab at the North Cape. So it is freshly sourced ingredients, 80%. Now, beyond that, we also source 60% of our beverages locally because again, we don't want to provide you with a touristic experience. Anyone can go to Norway and have that standard touristic experience. We want to show you the true Norway. One fun collaboration that we have is called Havets Bobred, or Bubbles of the Sea. So this is where we age our sparkling wine underwater in undisclosed fjords for about 6 to 10 months on end. I say undisclosed fjords because Norwegians are quite naughty, and if we knew where these crates were, we would probably find them, and they might not be there when Hurtigruten were to return. But this is just one of many also beverage collaborations. We have organic IPAs brewed only for Hurtigruten. We have Akivit only for Hurtigruten. We have Arctic Premium Gin distilled only for Hurtigruten. So the food, the drink, the lectures, everything about us is Norwegian. Now let's talk about February in Norway. What is a dominant theme there? Northern Lights. We are hunting the Northern Lights like our lives depend on it. And this is such a great way to chase the Northern Lights. It might not be something that's even on your radar, but it absolutely should be because here's your homework. Everybody, after watching this, you have to go look up the auroral oval, the Northern Lights forecast, and go ahead and download an Aurora app. So, a few things you need for Northern Lights. You need darkness. We can tick that box in February. You need geomagnetic activity. Frequently occurs right where that auroral oval is. You need with the darkness, you also need to get away from the light pollution. So here's where you might want to consider a cruise. Any one of these spots here underneath that auroral oval, fantastic for Northern Lights. But what if it's a cloudy night? What can we do?
Mhm.
We are floating observatories. We can sail past cloud cover. I'm also allergic to messing with people's beauty sleep. So why not go to bed and let us make the announcements that there are northern lights, and then you just come out with your messy hair and then you go chase the northern lights. No one's looking at you. We're all looking up. So really fun way to experience the northern lights by ship. So I recently chased the northern lights here. So this is from October of 2023. We were only on board for about 6 nights, but we had northern lights 4 of the nights. And if you're lucky, you can capture a dinosaur with your northern lights. One of my images got picked up by corporate. So this was the announcement made at 1:30 a.m. So that's the picture I took for my stateroom. And then you see that we have the nice pinks and the greens. And I think the biggest kicker with this trip that we are looking at today, if you sail with us, with Matt, and you chase the northern lights, and if Mother Nature just does not cooperate, under our Northern Lights promise, you would have an opportunity to come back for a 6 or 7 day cruise the following season for free. So that is the Northern Lights promise that we have. And I'm happy to report that the footage you are watching right now was taken in February. We're the only cruise line that has a chief aurora chaser, Tom Kerse, and he also stands on February being the best month to chase the Northern Lights. Statistically speaking, the weather all tends to be better then as well. So you can book this with Matt and rest assured that you're probably going to see the Northern Lights, but if not, you will get another chance to go. Now, let's talk.
That promise is unlike any other. I've never heard of anything like that. So, best way to see the Northern Lights, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love the fact that you can sleep because if you're in Iceland, also fantastic
Yeah,
place to see the Northern Lights. But let's say you have to leave, let's say you're in Reykjavik, and you have to drive an hour outside of the city to get away from the light pollution. You stay up until 3 a.m. You don't see the lights. Now you go back. Now you're grumpy. I am a good vibes
yeah.
only person. So I would rather go to bed and let them wake me up and get my sleep so it doesn't
Exactly.
ruin my next day.
Exactly.
All right. Well, you are going to have questions about what to pack, the temperatures. So I've included that in the lower left-hand corner here. Norway is actually one of the last branches of the Gulf Stream, so it's not that cold. I think northern US would be colder than Norway, so largely ice-free. Temperatures when you get up to the far north, 7 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. But when you go in February, it's a beautiful time to go. because you have such a great balance of the darkness to chase the northern lights, but you also have the returning sun. In Norway, we have what we call polar night. So above the Arctic Circle, between November and January, the sun actually does not come above the horizon. So that is what we call the polar night. So, but Norway is also such a stunning coastline. So February is a really good time, statistically better weather. Actually, Northern Lights, Norwegian old wives' tale is the colder it is, the better the chances to see the Northern Lights. That's what my aunt and uncle in my hometown, Landsvik, say. But a really good time to go. Tom Kerr, the Aurora Chaser, definitely stands behind that, and just lots of just great opportunities to get that daylight. We even have some really fun excursions, cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. So, it's a
Oh,
really fun way to explore. So I always want to open with the why and tell the story because Hurtigruten is more than a cruise. It is a story, it's a journey, it's experiential. So I hope that this sets the stage for the itinerary, which we will now discuss. So what we are here to talk about once again is the North Cape line. And just take a look at that map. It is about the entire Norwegian coastline. No one else will have this itinerary. This itinerary does not exist with anyone else. No one knows Norway like we do. I always joke, but kind of don't joke, that we've forgotten more about Norway than most other people know. And Matt, we've had a few exchanges. I think you can back me
we
up
have.
there.
Yes.
So I will
Yes, we
sit at
have.
the table, I'll put the banner there, and we will have a discussion, but we know Norway. So this is a fully commercial cruise. So this has no working elements such as the other some of our other ships. So this is fully commercial, very inclusive experience. I will cover the inclusions at the end, go over some of the ship amenities, and we'll talk about some excursions. But you have the opportunity to start your voyage in Oslo. So this is our capital of Norway. It has strong ties to Viking history and culture, and it's a green city. I don't like cities. I feel like they're concrete jungles, but Oslo is probably the one city I would consider living in because it doesn't feel like a city. It's surrounded by fjords and forests, so it's very green, also
A
quite
gorgeous
sustainable.
city.
It is. It really is. I went there and it's so easy to get places. The public transportation is superb. It's a
Yeah.
clean city. It's a quiet city. I mean, there's even a joke. There's some marketing out there like, is it even a city? And that's what we like because you're not going to the hustle and the bustle. You come to Norway
No.
because you want to slow down, right?
M-
It's
Yeah, my
also,
favorite view of the city's from up top of that opera house that you have pictured there.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
great view of the city.
Yeah, and then you have this little sculpture here, like random sculptures all throughout, I'll say. This is a glacier one, and then you have the Edvard Munch there, and then it's literally, if you have you can see the train station from here. It's very walkable, and
It
this is
is.
probably going to be the view from where the ship docks. So our office, funnily enough, is like if you were to look from behind this lens, is the building right across from the Opera House, and the ship docks right in front of our office. So that's kind of special. And this itinerary came about in 2023, but it's a fun city. So I do recommend extending here. Spend some time in Oslo. Maybe you'll see King Harold or Queen Sonja or Crown Prince Haakon or the crazy Crown Princess Marta. She sees ghosts from time to time. So it's just a fun city. I definitely recommend it. So we're going to set sail at 6. And Norway is a very long coastline, as I've said. So the main meat and potatoes of your voyage will be when we pass the bend. So we're going to start with a sea day. Listen, you're going to be jet lagged. It's a 6 hour time change. There's going to be loads of lectures, onboard entertainment in the evenings as well with a pianist on board. So you're going to settle. Day one is, or day two at sea is to settle. That is to get acclimated. That is to just leisurely mosey on about and take in the views, right? We're going to go back into Stavanger. And I don't know if you've heard of Pulpit Rock, but it's this crazy cliff that sits 604 meters above sea level. Beneath that cliff is a fjord called the Lysefjord, the Light Fjord. So the morning, I hope you're going to be an early bird because we are going to sail through the fjord of Lysefjord. And hopefully we'll make it as deep as Pulpit Rock. But I think Tom Cruise might have a movie here or whatever. Lots of It's Preikestolen, we call it in Norwegian. I am deathly scared of heights, so you will not find me up there like that crazy person, but it's a really impressive cliff. So we're gonna do some scenic cruising before we stop in Stavanger. And Stavanger really has deep Viking roots. It's also located near another fjord that I may not be able to pronounce. It's Hafrsfjord. And there was a famous battle in 872 where King Harald Hårfagre, Harold the Fair Hair, united Norway into one kingdom. So you're going to have a lot of Viking history. Maybe you associate Norwegians with Vikings. Here I am with my pigtails and uh, Matt could probably tell you I'm a bit of a striking Viking myself with my six
You
one
are.
stature. I look the part. So it also has historic roots. It's one of our oldest cities. So you'll find well-preserved wooden houses, charming old town. It's also the oil capital status. We always also like to joke that we invented the oil. So after Sweden, they used to pass us around Denmark and Sweden like a dowry ping pong ball. And then we found our independence and we found oil, much to the Swedes' chagrin. But we are a very wealthy country from the oil. So this is Stavanger, is where the oil capital is. Ålesund, if you are tuning in and you like architecture, you will see the Art Nouveau architecture here, and that holds roots in a devastating fire that took place in 1904 that devastated large swaths of the city. And if you're following along on the left here, you'll see the port plus times in port and what excursions are available in the port. So this is a really pretty city, and you need to note right off the bat that the with the Hurtigruten cruises, we're docking right in city center. So we might have the ship probably a 3-minute walk from city center at any given time. So we're very central, but this is where we're going to spend a little bit of time. You can easily mosey on about to check out the Art Nouveau architecture. There's also a vantage point called Mount Aksla. It's a 418 step if the weather is conducive. So something I want to just plant the seed on is that we do have an expedition team on board. And if conditions are favorable, they do try to have select hikes in certain ports. So if you're an avid hiker, we will try to have hikes, but those are going to be bookable on board only, understandably, because it's 1000% due to conditions. We will not take you out if it's not safe. So I was in Ålesund and we actually hiked to a vista point called Sukkertoppen, the sugar top, and that was in Ålesund, and it was fantastic. So I'm personally an avid hiker. You don't have to be hiking Mount Everest to come on a voyage with us. You can do as much or as little as you like. Just wanted to plant that seed because that would be something that may be offered. So we don't know until the weather. We get the weather reports essentially. We're also going to call upon a port that other people probably just don't go to. It's called Rørvik. This is a gateway to islands. It's a key gateway to the islands of Vikna. That's an archipelago. It's known for scenic beauty, vibrant marine life. It's also a historical port. It has a rich maritime history. So you're going to find a lot of maritime themes. I don't know if you've heard of Norwegian salmon or Norwegian cod or king crab. We are known for seafood. It's a cultural hub. Again, we host the Fish Festival and we celebrate the local seafood in the region as well. So this would be one of those hidden gems that you may just not get with another cruise line. And that's why we like it. We like to take you to the authentic places in Norway. We're going to take you to the Lofoten archipelago. So if you have some time today, look up Lofoten. This is an archipelago. It's arguably the most scenic area of all of Norway. And I will tell you that our chief Aurora chaser, Tom Kurse, he loves Svolvær, which is this port, because he thinks it's exceptionally nice for northern lights. So during this time, you're above the Arctic Circle now. The sun has returned, but you're probably going to have 7 hours of proper daylight. Then you're going to have nautical twilight before darkness kicks in. So you're probably going to have daylight when you're in Svolvær sailing north here. But once again, where this picture was taken, this is where we dock. So once again, 3 minutes, you're in city center. You can go kayaking in winter. You can go fishing, or maybe you want to go on a sea eagle safari. So then you're going to be sailing around in a rib boat, and then you can go chase the sea eagle. So there's lots of fun activities in the Lofoten archipelago. And then there's one day we are actually going to have two stops. So on this is day 6. In the evening, we cannot pass Stokmarknes and not stop. There's a big reason for this because Richard Witt, our founder in 1893, This is where the operations all started, is in Stokmarknes. And while we may not be a very well-known cruise line here in North America, we are the most celebrated cruise line in Norway. So much so that we have a museum dedicated to us, and this is called the Hurtigruten Museum. And what you see there is a ship that was decommissioned in 1956. This is the MS Finnmarken. It is an entire ship in a bottle concept. They will open this museum for us. And once again, we're going to dock probably on to the right of the image. So it's about 20, 30 meters. You are at the museum. You have the opportunity to walk through 132 years of history and look at the time. We're here from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. So that view that you currently see in this picture can absolutely be what you see when you are in Stokmarknes on the North Cape line. So that's a really special occurrence. I love the Hurtigruten Museum, but I like the history. I like to just feel the nostalgia. As someone who grew up along the coast of Norway, Hurtigruten is near and dear to my heart. So Tromsø is the next port. This is the gateway to the Arctic, the Paris of the North. Way back in the day, you're going to learn about polar explorers such as Fridtjof Nansen and Roald Amundsen. They would go on their treacherous Arctic adventures, on their quests to find the North Pole, ending up in Svalbard. But when they would return, all these explorers, they would return to Tromsø, and it was the feeling, the warmth of returning to society that made them call this the Paris of the North. This is home to the midnight sun in summer. It is home to the polar night in winter. And it's such a beautiful city. It's the largest city in northern Norway with about 80,000 inhabitants. Incredibly walkable. Once again, we're docking right in city center. And you have from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you can go on an excursion or just explore independently as well. I will say on these ports, Svolvær, Stokmarknes, Tromsø, they all have saunas and they have polar plunge opportunities. This is not a formal recommendation of that, but I'm just planting the seed that they are there. And I personally may have polar plunged a few times on this North Cape line. Are you going to polar plunge, Matt?
Well, of course, you got to do the polar plunge and right into the sauna. If you go to Norway, that's a
Yeah,
must.
I think
You
so.
got to do it. I did a
Yeah.
land tour last year, and of course we did it. You
Yeah.
got to.
We plunge about 6 times. I think the water is 5 degrees Celsius. And I'll just say people pay good money for cryotherapy here in the States. So that
Yes, they
is, I
do.
paid 70 kroner. So I paid $7 for my cryotherapy experience. But yeah, it was super fun. I personally love the sauna and the polar plunge experience. That's something that most Scandinavians, we are slightly obsessed with doing. So if you want to live like a Norwegian, maybe spend some of your time. You have plenty of time. You can even take an excursion, come back, hop in, polar plunge, squeal, get out, and then warm up and go back to the ship. It's about a 5 minute walk from the sauna. Okay.
Will we have any daylight when we're there?
Yes.
Because we
So
we've crossed over to the polar north, correct?
exactly. So
That
the
point?
sun has returned above the Arctic
Okay,
Circle. You in Kirkenes. So Kirkenes is going to be further north. You're going to have an average of 7 hours of daylight. That's further north. So that means you'll probably have more daylight in Tromsø. So you really do.
sure.
That's why February's a very popular month to go because you don't. If you go in November, December, great, fantastic. It's polar night, but you're not going to have as much of the beautiful coastline because you won't have as much daylight hours. You're only going to get as far as nautical twilight. But with
Sure.
February, the sun has returned, and you'll get both. It's against the backdrop of like a winter wonderland. It's going to be full snow,
Oh,
white,
beautiful.
beautiful. Yes, think dog sledding, think just
Gorgeous.
winter activities, snow angels, whatever you want to do, polar plunges. Can't legally recommend that, but I personally do it, so just gonna leave it there. Now, the northernmost point that we're going to go to is a port called Honningsvåg. This is a small fishing town, just about 5,000 inhabitants. It's most known for its jump off point for the North Cape, which is the image that you see here. So once again, we're here all day. So I highly recommend get to the North Cape. You're going to go to the North Cape. And you can learn about the rich history of Finnmarken. You'll have some monuments up there. You'll see these globes actually kind of scattered throughout the country. It's also great for wildlife. You can see reindeer in this region. And if you didn't know, reindeer actually swim and they cross fjords to an island called Magarea every year. A whole chain of them. They will cross a fjord. So I learned that on a Hurtigruten experience, but act surprised when our expedition team tells you on board as well. So this is the northernmost point. You're going to have daylight here. So this is the 7, 8 hours of daylight. You will have daylight up here. And then you could also see northern lights in the evening. So there's breweries in the region. It's quite walkable, cute little gift shop. So you have the day is yours to do with as you please. Okay. But that is the northernmost point. We're going to set sights southbound. And the capital of Northern Lights, because of its location, it's nestled in the Alta Fjord. And pay attention to whales in this region. We were so lucky. We saw so many humpbacks. Ours was in October, but they were all breaching. So all of our ships have panorama lounges. If there's daylight hours, you are looking for wildlife, particularly whales, because you never know when they're going to pop up. And they come quite close to shore as well from time to time. So, but Alta is the capital of Northern Lights. So we say because the weather tends to be better, the fjord, it's an insulated spot. So it just has good Northern Lights opportunities. So we're going to be there from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. It is known because you have a Northern Lights Cathedral. It's one of the northernmost cities. We have an igloo hotel in Alta. So there's actually in Norway, there's two snow hotels. So we'll visit the one with the North Cape line, and we have another one in Kirkenes. And it's a modern Arctic hub. It has a heavy, heavy Sami population, heavy Sami influence in this region. So you will learn about the Sami culture, but you also have modern amenities, vibrant cultural events, also National Sami Days, February 6th, I believe. So they'll also have these ice sculpture contests every year. Now, if you're tuning in and you like history, Narvik, have you seen the movie on Netflix, the famous battle between the Brits and the Germans over iron ore? Once again, you are sailing down a fjord to get to Narvik. So there's plenty of fjords, even though we don't talk about them. Just pay attention. There's a map that they sell in the gift shop. Just go ahead and mark all the fjords that you're going to go through here. But this is one of the few non-ice locked fjords. It had very important historical, strategic importance. I'm sorry, it was a strategic port. It was ice-free, crucial for shipping. So if you look at Narvik, it's very close to the Swedish border. So there was a lot of iron ore that was required in World War II from the mine of Kiruna. So the Brits and the Germans all wanted a peace. Norwegians were the big losers of the battle at the end of the day. But you will find a lot of World War II remnants along the coast of Norway. So where I grew up in a small town called Landsvik, loads of abandoned German bunkers in my hometown. So that will be a recurring theme along the voyage. So just planting that seed in case you are a history buff. Now, we're going to have another sea day, but not really a sea day. We're going to be cruising the intercoastal route. So on this day, I fully expect you to be posting up shop right along the Panorama Lounge. There's going to be loads of lectures, lots of activities. There's going to be points of interest out on deck. But where the white ships are way offshore, keep in mind, we have archipelagos, 1,700 fjords, 50,000 islands. Being close to the coast is the norm, not the exception. So we are, once again, if you remember back to that video, we're threading that Norwegian coast like a needle. So you're going to have the front row seat to the beautiful coastline of Norway. And the further south you go, you're going to have more and more daylight hours. So the polar night is only for the Arctic Circle. Then we're going to go to Åndalsnes, and this is the mountaineering capital. I don't have a winter image here, so just pretend there's snow here. But even getting into this port, what do you go to Norway for? You want those picturesque mountains, you want the fjords. You're crossing two fjords just to get into Åndalsnes. So maybe there's a vista point called Rampesreken. You can take a gondola up to this vista point here, and we are going to be in port for the vast majority of the day. This is another gateway to fjords. So fjords will be a recurring theme here, as well as village life. There's only 2,000 inhabitants
Mm.
in Åndalsnes. So that is about the size of my hometown that took an hour to drive through Agdenes. So, and half of the town had my last name. So I had to find myself an Aussie husband. And this is a recorded line for your quality assurance. But small village life, we love to branch out from there. But it's a beautiful, it's really, that's the norm of Norwegian life. So we like a good village. That's again, we want to showcase the true Norway, not the touristic Norway. So then we're going to go to Bergen. Bergen is Norway's second largest city. And I always joke if on a good day it rains from top to bottom, on a bad day it rains side to side. It is known for having 230 rainy days a year, but I have faith Matt is going to bring you luck because he's a lucky
We'll
charm.
bring the sunshine.
Yeah, the last two times I've been there, it has been sunny, and I host trips for advisors. I'm like, don't sell it like this. It usually rains, but I don't know. Every time I've been in the past 4 years, I've always had sunny days. But there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. So dress accordingly.
Yes.
Another gateway to fjords. Again, fjords is a theme. You cannot get anywhere without all these fjords. So, second largest city, you have a UNESCO World Heritage Site here called Bryggen. So, that's the colorful wooden row houses. It's going to be probably about a
Mm.
5 to 10 minute walk from the pier. This is probably from Mount Fløyen. You can take the funicular up to the funicular Fløibanen to Mount Fløyen, and you'll get these impressive vistas. So we're going to be there for about, how long are we going to be there? 6 hours. So plenty of time to
Ours.
explore, super walkable. And again, with the original Coastal Express, we have many other ships that operate a different itinerary. This is the main port, and it is the Hurtigruten terminal. So anyone in Bergen, if they don't know of Hurtigruten, they do not deserve to live in Bergen. Everyone knows Hurtigruten in Bergen. We own Bergen in the sense, so we have ships coming in almost every single day. Okay, Kristiansand, another World War II port. This was the regional headquarters for Gestapo in southern Norway during World War II. So again, if you are a history buff, this is a historical route. It also has the colorful wooden houses. I think it's Norway's fifth largest city. Cultural festivals. They have Dyreparken, so this is one of the largest and popular zoos, and they also have lots of lighthouses in the region. So we'll be here for about 4 hours again before we set our sights and return to Oslo. So that is the day by day itinerary. What I want you to do with excursions, I want you to talk to Matt about your level of
Yes.
fitness. Okay, we have level one. That's maybe a guided tour, easy. Just you need to be able to get onto a motor coach and get off, but pretty easy, suitable for most guests. Challenging, that would be dog sledding. That could be going on a rib boat safari if you have back issues or what have you. So definitely make sure that you are talking to Matt. He will know all the levels of all the excursions and he can advise. But I just want to give you a sample of what excursions could be for you on this sailing. So we are known for fishing, once again, Norway by Norwegians. So in Svolvær, you can go fishing, maybe go check out the sea eagles on a rib
So
boat
I have
safari.
a question.
Yep.
If I go fishing, I catch something, will the boat cook it for me?
Oh gosh, I'll have to take that one offline. I don't know. I've not done the fishing,
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't know. Great question though. So stay tuned. He will have the answer by the
Alrighty.
time you watch this. The Sea Eagle safaris, again, they are very well known in the Lofoten archipelago. The Northern Lights Cathedral here, you have a rock art center as well, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Ålesund, you can explore by foot or just go check out. You just maybe not go to the Vista Point if you don't want to and just walk around the city or visit the Ice Hotel in the Alta region. One that I really love is the kayaking excursion in
Mm,
Svolvær because I just happened to be walking in city center and all of a sudden I saw all my
hmm
friends just kayaking right by city center. So I thought that was really,
did you wave to him?
of course, I waved, I took
Yeah, of
selfies, I have a
course.
whole camera roll, I took pictures of them. I mean, I'm basically, yeah, I'm an influencer for them. But it was fun for them to have the pictures of them. And then right behind, of course, was the big ship. So we
Yeah.
were doing a bit of photography, but really enjoy this particular excursion. Again, it is a culinary cruise. Maybe you want to offset the caloric intake, get your little calories burning
Yeah.
if you want. And as I mentioned again, the hikes will be announced on board depending on conditions. But if you are an avid hiker, reach out to the expedition team. And I think they have a minimum of 8. So if they don't get 8, they won't be able to run the excursion. But keep in mind, these are guides from up and down the Norwegian coast. So They might be taking you to their backyard in their hometown. So that's just, again, yet another example of an experience you just would not get with anyone else. So we really
Yeah.
stand on our love for hikes. Norwegians also love the great outdoors. So if it's a nice day, nobody's inside. If we can be outside, we're outside at any time of the day. Also to the North Cape, if you wanted to hop on, I don't have the winter image here, but if you wanted to go quad biking from Honningsvåg up to the North Cape and get there in an interesting manner, that would be an option. Or dog sledding activities that's a staple experience, of course, in Norway for winter. I went dog sledding in Tromsø in 2016. So they have the puppy region. They even have the retired section. So, they do get to live happily ever after. You'll get to hang out with the puppies and you go on like a 4 or 5 kilometer dog sledding excursion. And then you'll have coffee and tea with the guides afterwards. So it's a really fun experience. And the nature
That
looks
sounds
exactly
amazing.
like, yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere. So it's just you and the dogs, and all you hear is them huffing and puffing as you're riding along there. Now, we're going to wrap up here shortly, but I want to talk to you about your home away from home. Growing up along the Trondheimsfjord, I always joked that I could see the ships from my house. This would be one of the ships that was built right across the fjord where I grew up, and my family members have actually helped build this ship. So I love sailing on her. I love bragging about my buddies they built these little white whatchamacallits that are on the top there. I don't know what they're called, but those were built by Robert Thoresen in Landsvik. This is your home away from home. Two-story panorama lounge. That's your living room. We're not dressing up. You can easily wear your Lululemons or just regular sweatpants, your hiking pants. We're dressing for the elements. We're dressing for the opportunity to go chase the northern lights. We're dressing for points of interest out on deck and food tastings out on deck. You'll have a sauna with floor to ceiling windows. Maybe you're going to want to pop in there after chasing the northern lights. Lecture halls will have plenty of lectures by the expedition team, adventure talks, historical talks, cultural talks. If you like to work out, we have a fitness center, lethal gift shop. So every time I go over, I'm team carry on and I fail on the way back. So I always buy our 70-liter bag. And then I have all of a sudden so much more space. I'll just pack that one too with all the other stuff from the gift shop. So you'll have a library access, and the most important amenity is the observation deck space. That is
That
where we
is.
have the red lights. We keep the lights to a minimum because we don't want any light pollution to see the northern lights. We want it to be as dark as possible so you have the best views. Bring your tripods and then just study up on photographing the northern lights. On board, we'll have suites. A select few have balconies. We're not known for balconies. We do have suites with floor to ceiling bay windows, a wide variety of stateroom options, but it's important to note that this is your home away from home, and this is a Norwegian ship. So the stateroom sizes that are non-suites, they do run a little bit smaller than industry standards. So I'll give you a couple just video snippets of this is an interior cabin. I want you to think of this as your bedroom and your bedroom only. Lots of storage, but you do need to be prepared that it will be a smaller footprint. But no one is coming with Hurtigruten to spend all day in their stateroom. If that is what you want, then Hurtigruten's not the right fit for you. The whole ship is built for your comfort. You're sleeping, then you're coming out, and then you're going to go chase the northern lights. Now, let's talk about the restaurants here and then we'll firm things up. So, Norway's Coastal Kitchen, let's go back. We source 80% of our food locally and we celebrate the Norwegian coast. Lots of culinary storytelling on this journey. Flora is going to be your main dining. This is included for everyone. Breakfast and lunch, general open seating, buffet format. Dinner is a seated affair at assigned time. So you will be communicating your preferred time of dining with Matt. Here, the storytelling is going to be in your menus. So this one won't typically be an oral storytelling, but the menu will have the story about our producers. Then you have Brasserie Arran. This is our way of showing our respect and gratitude for the Sami people and everything they've done for Norway. So about half of the world's Sami population does reside in Norway. They have a heavy influence on culture. So Arran is a northern Sami word for the fire at the heart of a labo. So that's that temporary dwelling used by Sami for thousands of years. So essentially, that's where people gather to share stories. That's what we hope you do here. So you're going to have these traditional Sami dishes, but with a modern twist. What I like about Arran is that it's just open seating. Most day dining opens at lunch, stays open till about 9 p.m. I love to eat dinner at 3 or 4. So if you don't want to wait till 6 to eat in Florida, come here. You can have crab cakes. You can have pepper steak with béarnaise sauce.
Mm.
You can have Arctic char. You can have the burger. You can have reindeer dishes. So this is where I live when I sail with Trollfjord. So you're going to have 2 restaurants included. Included for sweet guests, which is an optional charge for non-sweet guests, is Rust. So this is inspired by the ancient fish bank of Rust in the Lofoten archipelago. This fine dining restaurant, it pays tribute to the produce that established Norway, which is fish. But this is a 5-course meal, hyper local gastronomy paired with a sommelier. He will pair every dish. It is so hyper local gastronomy. We don't even tell you the menu. We will just ask if you have allergies, and every meal is perfectly presented, sourced locally from the ports of call as we sail north and south. So even if you don't have a suite, highly recommend that you upgrade on board at least once if you are a foodie. We had guests, they live on cruise ships, and out of 700 nights on board, they said that Rust had the best culinary experience. So I think that packs a punch or two. So your living room has a bar, and who doesn't love a bar in their living room? So you will have a wide variety of drinks included. So starting at lunchtime, you'll have sodas, all the beers, most wines, select spirits. We love to have coffee and cake in the afternoons in Norway. We can actually drink coffee late until the evening and still go to bed. But every afternoon around 3 or 4 p.m., we'll have a wide variety of coffee and cakes that are available. So you just gather here and just basically relax and take in the beautiful coastline of Norway in your living room. So this is where we spend a lot of time. Sometimes we'll have gatherings here. We have a couple trivia nights here and there. So it's just where you're going to find yourself, just leisurely taking in the sights. Also, sit there, find a seat next to the window, just watch, just slowly watch the coastline pass by. You will just be mesmerized by it. So let's talk about inclusions, and then I'm just going to give you the booking inquiry slide here, but you'll get your choice of cabin, cabin number. We have great Wi-Fi on board, so you will be connected. Even if you don't have that kind of vacation time, doesn't matter. Go ahead and work remotely.
Mhm.
Nobody needs to know where you are. You'll have unlimited select drinks at Flora and Arran, the 2 restaurants and the bar served during the restaurant and bar open hours. Unlimited coffee and tea, so you'll have the coffee stations throughout. You'll have the afternoon snack. You'll have movie nights. There's a pianist who plays in the evenings, and then a selection of equipment for outdoor activities. There are additional suite amenities, so you'll have all the dining in Rust, you'll have the exclusive dinner with the ship's senior officers, and you'll have a Hurtigruten clothing package. We have a clothing collection, winter jacket, wool sweater, hat. So just a few bells and whistles there. And that, my dear friends, that is the North Cape line. And this is Matt and myself. We meet up at every
Yes.
single event.
I think we take a daily picture at every event we're at together, I think.
Yes, I force it and I say, even if you don't feel like it, Matt, the journey must continue. You're my show buddy, and we always take selfies wherever we are.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so that's the North Cape line. I will pass it over to you, Matt, to wrap things up.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lynn. This was amazing. I really look forward to hosting everyone on the North Cape line. Um, I know Lynn talked about excursions a little bit, but one thing that's going to set our cruise apart from what you would just book directly with Hurtigruten is we are actually going to include several excursions. So go ahead and look at that itinerary. The itinerary is going to tell you what excursions we're doing on what day. You are by no means required to do it, but it will be included for you. We will also do a pre package um, in Norway at the beginning. And so if you want to take advantage of that, we will have that for you. Once again, just look at the itinerary on the landing page, and we'll be able to give you more information there. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me via email, or you can click the button on the right side of the landing page and you can send me a message that way. Thank you, everybody.
That's awesome. Yes, I stand behind this. This is the most unique way to chase the Northern Lights and see the
Yeah.
Norwegian coast hosted by Norwegians. So I hope you found this to be helpful. Really hope that we have the opportunity to welcome you on board. And February is the favorite month with our chief aurora chaser, renowned astronomer Tom Kurse. So I think you should join. And also, Matt's probably the best host out there. And he is an
Oh,
expert
thank
on
you.
all things Hurtigruten as well. So you're in great hands. And
Yes.
he and I are like this. So any questions that pop up, we can host another Q&A webinar. But hopefully this helps with your experience. And we look forward to welcoming you on board.
Yep.
All
All
righty
right.
then. We will leave it there. Ha det bra. Thank you so much, Matt. Look forward to
Thank
it.
you, Lynn. All righty.
All right. Ha det.